Om Namo Bhagavate Ramakrishnaya for Seekers of God. Spiritual Talks of Mahapurush Swami Shivananda, Chapter 105, page 305, Episode 262. The Story of Ajamila, the Power of the Lord's Name. Belur, December 7th, 1932. In the afternoon, Mahapurushji said to an attendant, "Will you bring the Bhagavata, Srimad Bhagavatam for me? I want to hear a little of the story of Ajamila." So the book was brought and the reading of the passage began. King Parikshit asked Shukadeva, "O Blessed One, how can a man desist from sin, and how can he be saved from the hellish suffering of various kinds coming to him as a result of his sins?" In answer to this, Shukadeva said, "O King, just as fire can destroy a big cluster of bamboos, so also all the sins committed in thought or speech can be destroyed by a man of faith with the help of austerity, brahmacharya, control of body and senses, purity, well-regulated life, conduct and behavior, etc. But since this kind of expiation for sins is very difficult, Shukadeva refers to devotion to God, bhakti, at the conclusion and says, "As the sun dispels mist, so also some people destroy sins fully through devotion alone, through love alone, through bhakti alone, and their complete dependence on Vasudeva, Sri Krishna." In illustration of this, the story of Ajamila is introduced. Ajamila was a Brahmin performing sincerely his caste duties, but the latter portion of his life was spent in the company of a slave woman addicted to drinking, whom he preferred to his own chaste wife. And Ajamila remained engrossed in playing dice, cheating others, lying, robbing, and other such heinous sins. Ajamila had 10 sons, the youngest of whom was called Narayana, and whom Ajamila loved the most. When Ajamila was on his deathbed at the age of 88 years, he was startled to see the terrible messengers of death, and in consternation, Ajamila cried out, and in fear, consternation, Ajamila cried out, "Narayana, Narayana," meaning his own beloved son. But that was also the name of God himself. Thus, when Ajamila uttered God's name with his last breath, the messengers of Vishnu came down to snatch away the soul of Ajamila from the clutches of the messengers of death and carried it to Vaikuntha, the place of Vishnu or Narayana. Mahapurushji heard it all through with rapt attention. Last of all was read the verse, when even Ajamila reached the place of Vishnu by uttering the name of the Lord, Narayana, by which his own son was called. It goes without saying that one who utters the name of God with faith and reverence will go there as a matter of course. Mahapurushji was greatly overwhelmed by this and said, "Just notice the wonderful power of the name of the Lord. Fine, it is so very charming." That is why Sri Ramakrishna used to say, "The name and the person named are non-different." That is veritable truth itself. Everything is contained in that name itself. Name is Brahman. God dwells in the name. God is ever present where his name is sung. The Lord Vishnu said to Narada, "I do not stay in Vaikuntha, my abode, nor even in the hearts of yogins. I stay, Narada, where my devotees sing of me." Sri Ramakrishna used to ask us very often to sing the name of Hari. Sri Ramakrishna said, as the birds sitting on a tree fly away when somebody claps his hands below, so also all the bodily sins take flight when one sings of Hari with clapping of hands. Sri Ramakrishna would himself sing of Hari with clapping of hands quite often. Once Sri Ramakrishna would start singing the name, he would continue uninterruptedly in that mood for pretty long. Everything about Sri Ramakrishna was so unusual. Mahapurush Maharaji says, everything about Sri Ramakrishna was so unusual. The story of Ajamila pleased Mahapurush Maharaji so much that for the whole day he went on telling with great pleasure about this reading of the Bhagavata to all the visitors who came to him that day. That is the end of chapter 105. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.